One of the things that can happen during the course of a tech process is what's known as breaking a mark. And a broken mark occurs when the light is marked further up the queue list, but then becomes active between when it's marked and when the light is turned on. Let's do an example. I'm going to go to queue 106, enter. So this is in between where my channels 121 through 128 have been told to mark in queue 104 and when they actually turn on in queue 110. So in queue 106, I'm going to say group 7, full, and bring those lights on. And now I'm going to say update, queue only, enter. So those lights are going to turn on in queue 106 and turn off in 107. But what that's done is it's made those channels unable to mark further upstream. You'll notice queue 104 now has a lowercase m. Again, it's still a marked queue, but there's no channels marking in it. And in queue 109, the queue right before the lights turn on, I get an X in my mark column. And that says that the board is going to use auto mark behavior in order to try and mark those lights as best as it can in queue 109. Let's take a look at what that looks like. I'm going to hit go. Those lights will fade out. We'll track through queue 108. And queue 109, it's going to do the best that it can in the time that it has to mark those lights so that hopefully they come up where they are in 110. You'll also notice channels 121 through 128 have X's now instead of M's, and that's because the mark is broken. So in order to fix a broken mark, we need to move the channels and have them mark after the light is off again. So because those channels go off in queue 107, I can mark them there. So group 7, mark 107, enter. Again, I need to update to save those changes. You'll notice that I get M's back, and as I look up my queue list, I get an M in my queue 107. So let's look at this from the top. I'm going to go to queue 104, enter. And once that's complete, I'm going to go on 105, and I'm going to go on 106, and you'll notice that these are live moves because I haven't marked these fixtures. Luckily, queue 104 still has a mark flag on it, so all I have to say is group 7, mark enter, and that is going to find the nearest mark flag, which will be queue 104. And as soon as I update that, I get move instruction times in focus, color, and beam. My M turns to a capital M, and 106 turns into a reference queue. I'll hit go on 107. Those lights will fade out. They'll mark for 110 in the queue time. They'll track through 108. They'll track through 109, and then they'll fade up in the queue time in 110.